Hey, as you may or may not have known, I don't know if you had or not, but I used to work for a construction company, and we used to build pole barns. That was kind of a main thing that we focused on. And when I built pole barns, there's one problem that I kind of had. I was really good at when it was the first time that we did something to a pole barn, like we had a lot of custom stuff that we did to pole barns. And if it was the first time that we ever did it, I had the problem of overcomplicating it and making it more difficult than it really was. And I overthunk it. Overthunk, that's a new word, by the way. It is a word, now that I said it. I overthunk it, and so it ended up just completely going wrong for me. And the reason for that was I made it too complicated, and I didn't keep it simple enough. And one of the people I worked with would always tell me, Justin, just do it. Forget about the complication, and don't think about it too much. Just do it. And the thing about it, I got a really important lesson out of that, and it's a lesson that I still look back to and like, Justin, just do it. Just keep it simple. Just do it. Anyway, there's a big lesson I want to teach you about that in Christianity, and I think Christianity is kind of the same way lately. Is we're making overcomplicated things and overthunking. Did I say thunking? Is that the new word I came? I don't remember, but I overthinking stuff too much. So anyway, a little bit I'll share with you a little bit more about what I discovered about Christianity and overthinking.
Sweet! We're watching the Wizive show.
Okay, I don't know if you ever heard of the KISS principle. KISS. And what it stands for is keep it simple, stupid. And that's a principle that I think we can use in every area of life, especially Christianity. See, a lot of times people, when they become Christians, right now if you look at it, there's so many different kinds of Christians out there. There are people that say that, yeah, I believe in the Bible, and I do all this good stuff, and there's Jehovah's Witnesses, there's, all of this different kinds of people, Calvinists, Arminianism. I believe Calvin was right. I believe Arminianism is right. We're overcomplicating things. It's wrong. We gotta follow the KISS principle, which is keep it simple, stupid. Just have a simple and pure devotion to Jesus Christ. That's all that matters. And I just wanted to make a video to just kind of explain that to you, because lately, to be honest with you, the reason I decided to talk about this today is because last night we had a men's group meeting, and we were just discussing about different things, and I realized something about myself is that I overthink things too much. I don't know why, but it kind of seems natural for me to overthink things, because I guess I'm afraid to fail, or I'm afraid to not be successful, or whatever it may be. It's not a good thing. Instead, in my life, I have all these goals that I have, and I want to make those goals, I want to do them right, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it for God, which is a big thing. But my problem is to overthink it, and I don't do anything. Not good. So I got to stop thinking so much and just start doing. And that's what I think is a big problem with Christianity today, is we're overthinking everything too much. Like I said, there's so many different kinds of sects in Christians today. There's I don't know how many different kinds of Christians, and they can't all be right because they're not simplifying it enough. They're just not looking at the Bible simply enough. That's the problem. That's the problem I see. And I think we need to just simply sit down and we just have a simple and pure devotion to Jesus Christ. That's what really matters. If you read 1 Corinthians, the whole book of 1 Corinthians pretty much is about the biggest, in 1 Corinthians 1, Paul talks about kind of the biggest problem that the Corinthians have, and that is, one of them, he asked the question, can Christ be divided? Because some of them were believing in, I follow Paul. Another were saying, I follow Apollos. And I forget who else they were following, but there was a couple different people different groups, different sects in that church. And they were saying, well, I follow this way, and I go this way, and they were dividing Christ, and Christ can't be divided. Instead, they got to have a simple and pure devotion to Jesus Christ. And also then, in 2 Corinthians, in chapter 11, verse 3, which I'll mention this verse later, but it says something to the effect that I'm afraid that you'll be like Eve when the serpent talked to Eve and deceived her. That's the word I was looking for, deceived. And I'm afraid you're going to be that way because you're going to get away from the simplicity and purity of devotion to Jesus Christ. Because that's all it is, simple and pure. So just simply, I don't know if maybe you're overthinking something. Maybe there's something in your life that you're going through. Maybe you have a certain goal and you're just, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? And I think maybe you're overthinking it. Now, it's always pray about what you're doing. That's one thing that I really stand behind. You got to pray about everything. But sometimes it's good to go ahead and do it and let God direct your path. Let God direct your steps. And so get away from being caught up in not doing anything and getting caught up in arguing about, well, is Calvinism right or is Arminianism right? Or maybe you haven't even heard about Calvinism and Arminianism. Don't even go into it. Because all they do is argue about it. Well, I believe this and this. Who cares what you believe? What I believe is you got to have a simple and pure devotion to Jesus Christ. That's all that matters. The gospel is really simple, yet we make it so complicated. Don't make it complicated. Keep it simple. The KISS principle, what was that again? Can you remember? It was keep it simple, stupid. That's all that matters. Keep it simple and stupid. So anyway, in the comment section below, write down a couple things that we kind of tend to complicate in Christianity, or we tend to argue about, or we tend to just not take any action on because we're making it too difficult. Think about a couple things, put it in the comment section below, and keep it simple. And another thing, be sure to share this video with your friends if you know somebody that's just making things way overcomplicated. And there's one thing I want to mention yet before we close this video. That is the thing that, who is the author of confusion? Who would you say is the author of confusion? Is it God or is it the devil? Now I'm sure you know it's the devil is the author of confusion, not God. And so whenever you're in a situation where you're confused about something, stop it and go back to the simple and pure devotion to Jesus Christ and just forget about it. That's the best thing I can tell you to do, because I've done that a couple times, and I need a reminder all the time to keep it simple. So let's keep it simple.
Welcome to Wiz Life goal number 36, and that is to keep your devotion to Jesus pure and simple. The KISS principle, keep it simple and stupid. Something like that. Anyway, the point is to keep it simple and don't get confused and all make a big deal out of nothing. Anyway, the verse that goes along with that is 2 Corinthians 11:3, and that is, "But I'm afraid that as the serpent deceived Eve by his craftiness, your minds will be led astray from the simplicity and purity of devotion to Christ." It's pretty simple. Satan wants to get our minds astray from the simplicity, keyword, did you hear that? So should I say it again? Simplicity and purity of the devotion to Christ. And don't let him do it. Keep it simple and keep it pure.
This is the part of the show that you've been waiting for. It's the biblical joke of the week. And it'll probably be lame and a little bit of funny.
Okay, I got this week's joke online again because nobody submitted it once. Please submit your jokes. Anyway, here's how it goes. Okay, I'll start acting normal here. A local priest and pastor stood by the side of the road holding up a sign that said, "The end is near. Turn yourself around now before it's too late." They planned to hold up the sign to each passing car. Leave us alone, you religious nuts," yelled the first driver as he sped past. From around the curve they heard a big splash. "Do you think," said one clergy to the other, "we should put up a sign that says, 'Bridge out' instead?"
I need you to submit your biblical joke so that I can have it on the show. Now, how to do that? Well, you can either go to wizlife.com and contact me, or you can go to YouTube and create a video response.
This has been the Wiz Life Show, which is God's wisdom in your life, and hopefully you've gotten a little bit something from it. Anyway, my name, as always, is Justin Miller, and I'm out.
Swing low, swing chair. coming for to carry me home. Swing along, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me